So here we are after the comp, right back to training. This is going to be an intense 3 days of training. I normally try to avoid training 3 days in a row because my body can't handle it, but we have to make an exception this time. And so we're starting off day one with the campus session. And I was expecting to feel super tired from the comp yesterday, but like I said, the body can mess with you sometimes. I felt really strong in this campus session. I hadn't felt this strong in a while. Here you can see I finally send this campus boulder. This is the third session I've spent on it, and I knew this was going to be my last session on it because I'd spent enough time on it. So it was really satisfying to get the send finally. And then somehow with this random super strong feeling, I decided, yeah, I gotta test myself on my crimp boulder again. And so here's my first try. Can't stick the first move really hard. And then I was just like, you know what, I can do this. I'm just gonna try really hard. And I got psyched. And I managed to send this boulder, which was super surprising. I felt pretty far off from doing it the last session, even though I managed to put it all together with one little fall in the middle. I didn't feel super close to connecting the crimp moves, and so it was a nice surprise to do that this session. And then at this point in the campus session, I was about halfway through, maybe a little bit more. I decided that I had proven myself on my crimping ability for the day, so I decided to try a new campus climb with no crimps. And this is kind of a pinch-based boulder. This is probably the hardest campus boulder I've made for myself so far, and so I was trying really hard. You can see the second move is probably the hardest move of the climb. You have to cross to this pinch, and this is a wooden pinch. They have some wooden holes on this wall, and this pinch is so greasy. You have to squeeze like twice as hard as you think. And I actually had like no chalk in my chalk bag for this session in the morning. I'd run out, so I was like using liquid chalk for most of the session as well, which didn't help on this greasy pinch. So I tried the ending a few times as my time was running down for the session, and setting myself up to maybe get the send next time. And so later in the day is the workout. Same sets and reps as the last workout. We have 4 sets of hangs and benches, and still no weight. This hangboard session probably felt like a copy and paste of the last, which was good because the last one was super good. I only failed a couple reps with my hangs, and I felt super strong. And so it's the same thing again today. Yeah, you can see I still like to spot my way into the hang just so that I feel like I have a higher likelihood of completing a rep if I don't necessarily shock load my way into a rep. That'll just trip me up, and even if I'm like able to do the hang, if I don't load it properly, it can cause a rep to end in failure. So I always kind of spot my hang a bit before I get into it, and then load it in nice and controlled. Not necessarily super slowly, but I will load my reps as controlled as I can. So yeah, good hangs for the day. And then pinch block felt really good today. Last session we were doing 65 pounds, and I was warming up on the pinch block, and I just felt so good. And I find that my hangs will be they'll at least be more consistent than my pinch block, but my pinch block will be super inconsistent. One day I'll be feeling super good, and then the next I won't be able to pinch even 5 pounds underneath what I was doing the last session. So like last time I was doing 65 and it was like pretty hard, and today I felt like it could have even gone heavier than 70, but like I said, I don't like to make jumps too big. So I just stuck with 70, it felt super comfortable. And I think maybe the reason pinch block is also pretty inconsistent because this is where friction comes more into play. Like with your hangs, it's just, you're just hanging on the edge. But with pinch block, like even the variation in how much skin you'll have on a given day will affect how well your reps are executed, especially when you're trying to pinch at the top, your very top range. The tiniest bit of sweat or slips and friction will obviously make it way harder, and that definitely can make pinch block very frustrating to train sometimes, just the amount of inconsistency that there is. But today was a good day, so I'll take it. One arms today also felt really good. Still 3 reps, and I felt just slightly better than last session. You can see on my right arm, I'm actually able to do all 3 reps consecutively with the 5 pounds. And then my left arm, I get 2 consecutively, but I can't do the third. With my reps, I'll always try to say at least maybe like 15 seconds of rest is where I try to keep my max when it comes to most of my exercises. The exception for that are hangs and pinches. I'll always rest as long as I need in between reps before I move on to the next one. But with one arms and jump squats, dips, military press, pistol squats, I'll always try to keep it like a 15-second max rest in between reps. Otherwise, I either need to go down and wait. Otherwise I'll just need to go down and wait most of the time. Jump squats today, I think I'm starting to feel better with the jump squats. It's hard to see in the video, but they feel more explosive. And it's at least giving me confidence on the wall, and even just like when I'm dynoing, to know that my jump squats are feeling better. Dips, 70 pounds, again, just like last session. I think I have one more workout here after this, 1 or 2. And I think most of the time I'll just be spending doing my workouts at this location. So I'm gonna be stuck with these rings for a few more sessions. So I'm probably gonna keep the weight at 70 pounds just because the rings are adding a lot of difficulty to the dips, and it's like adding another layer of technique as well. But at least I'm getting the hang of it, and these dips are better than last session for sure. Last session I probably failed like a third or a half of the reps. It was pretty bad, but I don't think I actually failed any reps in this session. But I have to take quite a bit of rest in between. So yeah, I'll just stick with 70 pounds while I'm stuck with these rings. And then once we're in a location where I have a fixed bar, I'll try and push the weight again. Pistol squats today, we're going up 5 pounds from the last session. Again, I still think I could go heavier, but I'm usually like to just take it 5 pounds at a time. So if I still feel good, which I did in this session, I'll probably go up 5 pounds again for the next workout, even if the reps don't necessarily go down. Splits today, I forgot to mention in the last video actually, when I was warming up my pistol squats for the last workout, I talked about this in the first video, how keeping my lower leg off the ground bothers my lower back. And both the benches were being occupied. The gym was pretty busy at the time, last workout. So I just said, okay, I'll do my like warm up pistol squats on the ground just with no weight. And immediately, like the second one, I lifted my other leg off the ground too high. And I retweaked my lower back that I had got a few, I retweaked the retweak of the lower back from a few sessions ago. And it wasn't too bad, but it kind of hurt to just do most things. So I cut the whole workout off short. I didn't do military press last session, and I didn't do splits. So, especially because like the front splits can sometimes also bother my lower back. So I was a bit worried about it for the comp. I totally forgot to talk about this, but yeah, like in qualifiers, there was another boulder which kind of made my back worse, but it kind of went away. I tried to do as little as possible, just kind of sit on the couch in between qualifiers and finals, and it went away. And by today, it was fully good again, and the front splits didn't hurt it, and I was able to do my pistol squats on the bench, so it was fine. but I just have to be a bit wary of my back going forward in the next few sessions. So now we're back on the next day for the last day of this little 3-day block and the last day of week 2. This cycle is basically 2.5 weeks, but I'm just gonna call it this is the end of week 2. So last endurance session we did all of our sets on the backfill because it was super busy in the gym and there was no space for me to do endurance on the main walls. But today I got here in the morning, I only had a short session to do. So it was like, even though it was a 3-day block and that was kind of not so fun, I was pretty tired by this day. It was a nice special treat to just go in and like do a 40-minute session. That's all you had to do for the day. So I got here nice and early in the morning to get it over with. And I was able to do my power endurance on the main walls, which is super nice. So I started with this purple boulder here. I warmed up on it. Well, no, sorry, I'd done it in a previous boulder session, one of my boulders where I transitioned from my warm up into trying hard. So I'd already done it before. And I thought that it was gonna be pretty hard to get all 4 reps because it wasn't, I managed to flash it when I first did it, but it wasn't super easy. But I surprised myself. I had the beta locked down and I was able to do all 4 reps, which is super cool. I'm making the jump now from red tape to black tape with my endurance, which is pretty nice to see. As I had a good idea that I'd be able to increase the difficulty pretty fast, but it's always reassuring when your prediction is accurate. And so I got a little, I started to get a little bit confident, and so I was like, okay, maybe I can start to try real hard now with my endurance. So I picked this black tape to do my next set on. And this was like the last boulder I would do in my warm-up every climbing session I had, or even for campusing. So this was always like the last boulder I would do before I went on to the session for the day. So I like had my beta, it was like all locked down. I would do this, I've done this climb like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. So I said, you know, even though it's super long and really physical, just because I'm so familiar with it, I might be able to do all 4 reps. And I tried really hard. I think that this is the second attempt here. And after the second attempt, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm getting pumped, but there's a chance I could do all 4. That would be pretty cool. And then this try here, I don't think I was gonna fall, but I kind of fumbled this hold underneath the pinch. I bet I could have got this rep, but anyway, I fumbled it, and then I managed to finish the rest of this rep. So already you can see just how fast my endurance is coming back. Like, this boulder is probably twice as hard as the boulders I was doing on day 1. Like, I can feel my cardio improving, and it's nice to see. So I'm gonna try the white one again here. I'm expecting to fall, and then I kind of get snaked here, but it was probably for the best because I was probably not gonna send it anyway. So what I'll usually do, especially if it's busy or there's people around, is I'll always have a backup boulder. So if someone hops on the wall, I have a backup plan. So I just moved to this red tape. So something I forgot to mention is that the previous day, we were kind of in a rush to get out of the gym. Me and Maddie and her mom had plans, so I said, okay, I'll just save my military press for the next day. So I'm doing it here today after endurance. And finally I decided, you know what, especially now I'm going down in reps, I gotta go up with my weight. And so there are no 45-pound dumbbells, so what I did is I took 40 dumbbells and 2 5 dumbbells and I pinched them together. It was a little sketchy. I was kind of worried I was going to drop them, but it was fine. It worked out in the end. And that concludes week 2. Only a few more days left in BC.